So thank you everyone for inviting me along here today, and especially you, Irina. As you said, I spoke to your members a couple of weeks ago about the benefits of joining FIT, and I spoke a little bit in that presentation about what FIT Europe does. So I want to take a slightly different approach today and look a little bit more about what FIT Europe actually does and the sort of things that you can expect to get out of being a member of FIT, and especially in the regional centre FIT Europe. And a lot of what I'm going to talk about today actually echoes what Raisa has already said, because there is a lot of collaboration going on between FIT Europe and ATC in the UK, but also the wider organisation EU ATC, which Raisa spoke about. So for anyone who wasn't here at the first talk I gave in February, we have the international level organisation, which we call FIT Mundus. Okay, it's not the most attractive term in the world, but it's the international level of the organisation, the mothership. And then in each of the major regions of the world, you have something called a regional centre. So we currently have 3 regional centres. We have FIT Europe, which is by far the largest. We have well over 60 members and growing now that we have application from AIT as well. Then we have a very small regional centre, FIT North America, which only has about 6 or 7 members. And then we have FIT LATAM, which is Latin America, which has about 20 member associations. And an African regional centre is currently being set up, and we hope in the next year or two that an Asian regional centre will also be set up, so that all the major regions of the planet will have their own regional centre and can look after the topics which are specific to that regional centre. So, as I said, we have this structure where in each region you have a regional centre, and the next slide doesn't want to move forward. What I've done here on this slide is basically put all the key areas in which FIT Europe acts. And here if you read quickly over the slide, you'll start to see lots of things which Raisa referred to: collaboration, research, things like this. And the 5 key areas are, take them in order: relations with institutions. So what this primarily means is with European Union institutions. So we have something called the LIND group, which is the European Language Industry Expert Group, which is a cross-industry group of experts who advise the European Commission on language policy, give it advice about topics for events that they choose, these sort of things. Every year they have a very large festival of translation called Translating Europe Forum, typically held in November every year, and FIT Europe, as a member of the LIND group, gives its advice to the European Commission about this and the topics that are chosen, and the speakers who should attend, and the focus of the event, and whether it's relevant to the current state of the industry, so on and so forth. And one of the things that has emerged from the LIND group is this idea of creating a survey which looks at the current state of the European language industry every year. It started originally with EU ATC and then was brought under the umbrella of the LIND group, and many partners were added in. So this plays into what Raisa was saying about collaboration, and also what she said about, getting up-to-date information about what's currently happening in the market and in the industry. And this is very useful from the European Commission's point of view, because then it allows them to tailor policy making as well. And on the issue of policy making, something which quite important, which has come out in the last year and a half or so, is this idea of collective bargaining. The European Commission, especially with the pandemic and the rise of technology and platforms and things like this, saw that a lot of people who work as freelancers are being adversely affected by working through platforms, the working conditions, pay and rates, and so on and so forth. And they started a process of examining this from the point of view of competition law, and they asked associations and individuals all around Europe to give their opinion on this matter. And Fit Europe was very happy to participate in this, and also encouraged its individual member associations to participate. And we can expect probably, I think, around June, the results of that consultation and finalization of the guidelines, which will basically, what it will involve is a relaxation of the competition law rules in relation to translation associations. So what we can expect in the future is that an association like AIT will be able to negotiate with an organization like ATC in order to negotiate better levels of pay for translators and interpreters. So this is a very, well, it wouldn't be with the ATC because of course the ATC is outside of the EU, but you get the general idea that associations will be able to collaborate or to negotiate with each other on a par and obtain better working conditions. In relation to our own members, we also have like what would you call like a program of outreach, where we find associations which are not currently members of FIT but are interested in joining, and we assist them and give them advice on how to join and how to bring them into the family. We also host every year quite a diverse range of events, I would say, on different topics relevant to the sector. Some of them are intended only for the members, so they're internal. Some of them are intended for translators and interpreters. For example, in 2021, we had a couple of events about remote simultaneous interpreting and the impact on the health and the hearing of interpreters. If you look at the center of the thing which talks about the Czech event, GDPR project, Translating Europe workshops, Ukraine response, a lot of the things that we do are sort of like a mix of working in collaboration and partnership with external partners like the EU ATC, like ATC, with the European Commission and with our members to try and create events or to do things which are generally beneficial for the entire profession. Raisa spoke already about the very productive collaboration that we've had in relation to the GDPR, which resulted in a Translating Europe workshop on that topic. It also resulted last year in some guidance which was published. There will be a report published probably at the beginning of May, and the guidance which we published last year will be updated, and this is all through collaborative working between Fit Europe and EU ATC and ATC, and in particular Raisa, who's been very, very helpful and constructive in this entire project and has contributed massively. Other things that we do in Fit Europe is that we have lots of build relationships with academia. So we participate in surveys with other academics who write academic papers, with chapters for books to try and advance knowledge in the sector. And then something which is not particularly relevant for today's talk anyhow is this idea of how we interact with the higher level above us, with the international level. Probably the most interesting thing from your point of view is this Translatio. So it's a journal newsletter that comes out every 2 months from FIT, which talks about the latest developments at international level in the translation and interpreting sectors, and also what individual associations are doing. So one thing that AIT will be able to do in the future when it's accepted as a member is that they can publish their news so that it reaches a global audience. So if you have like special training that you've conducted and you want to share that with other associations around the world that perhaps they could learn from it, then Translatio would be the natural place for you to publish that. Then this is like things that we will be working on through the coming year. Not particularly important to go through these in any detail, but the basic point that I wanted to make is that Fit Europe is very, very active in trying to promote the profession and to improve conditions and standards for translators and interpreters all around Europe. And the primary focus of doing this is to work collaboratively with all the other partners in the industry. I think that's a pretty much good summary of where we are and what we're doing. And if anyone has any questions, I'm very, very happy to answer them.